3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, this is Challenger. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I was just in here messing around and recording, and the game decided to crash on me. It does that sometimes. So anyway, when I go in here to show you the drive difficulty, it's set to normal. Normally I have it on hard or hardest. Anyway, I set it back to normal so that when you play along the same way that I do on the same course, I'm not hitting it any further than you can. You turn it up to hard or hardest, you can hit it further, but any mistakes you make will be magnified. Okay, you need to be aware of that. I'm playing it on normal, so I'm not hitting any better than any of you, so that you're not, if you're playing along, upset by the fact that you can't keep up. As far as other settings, audio is probably the biggest one. I have music turned down. Ambiance and the UI are important. You don't have to have the commentary. I have it turned on because sometimes it can be funny, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we're going to get back in here. We're going to start with the seasons. And I've already recorded some seasons, which I'm going to abandon right now and start from the very beginning with the local club season. This is going to start off with, well, let's go back in here and I'll show you what. In the local club season here, once you start the season, it will show you the event list. And Two Rivers Club is where we're going to start. It's a nine-hole round. It's 36 par. It's quick and easy. In fact, this entire season is, because it's only got 4 events. But the 4th event is 2 rounds of 18 holes. So that one will take a little while. These others I'll record as a single recording. So that'll be 3 recordings, and then this one will be 2 recordings separately. The idea is to get a trophy, obviously. Finish the season with 4 trophies. You don't have to have trophies in order to move ahead, but you should be in the upper ranking, top 10. But this first season's fairly easy. Nothing really to worry about. So, we're going to start on this one right here and get going on it.
Hello there, my name is John. I'd like to welcome you to Season Mode and our first event, the Charity Classic. We're at Two Rivers Golf Club today. Let's get down on that tee. Start this event off on the right foot. Let's have a good tee shot.
Now, normally when I play this game, I don't listen to John. He's pretty funny though sometimes. All right, let's start off with the interface here. This up here is basically useless information, except it will tell you that how many strokes you're meant to get for the course. If you don't finish it in 4 strokes or a par, you'll get a bogey or worse. You don't want that. This particular hole is 323 yards, and we're on the first stroke. Stroke index is something you don't really need to worry about yet. The wind meter in the center, you can have this turned off if you feel like it's cheating. as far as I'm concerned, the way I look at the wind meter is, since you can't feel the wind blowing in your face, since you can't act like Tiger Woods, reach down, pick some grass up, and watch it flutter in the wind, you can't really tell what the wind is doing. So you might as well have that on. This window over here tells you what the lie is. Of course, we're on the tee right now, so that's not indicated. This is good as far as estimating how far your ball is going to carry once you hit it. Now, carry means in the air. It will also bounce and roll. It'll tell you what iron you have chosen and how you intend to approach the ball, which you can change, obviously. But the caddy, which is artificial intelligence, has decided that we need a 7-iron in order to get it out here to this dog leg. We're not going to go that way, though. See, I like to go over here, and by using the right button on your Xbox controller, you can change your club. I like to go up to a driver, and then try to play this little gap right up here in the center of these trees, and that should get us over here to the fairway up closer to the green. The wind is blowing slightly left to right at 2 miles per hour. We should have no trouble getting over there to the fairway, unless you don't hit it straight. If you don't swing straight and follow through the ball straight, the ball will either swing to the right or the left. Right is normally indicated by slice as a right-hand golfer, left a hook. We don't want to do that. If you hold in the left-hand trigger, this window pops up here, and this window will show again when you swing the ball. The line down the middle will tell you how sweet your swing was. If it's an absolutely straight line right down the center, that's perfect. You'll almost never see that. It'll always be slightly off left or right. In worst cases, if you get outside of this red, the ball will swing widely in one direction or the other, which you don't want. Of course, you know that. Worst case scenario, you won't even be able to keep it on the fairway, or on the course. The loft, high and low. By increasing the loft, the ball will go higher. It will launch off the club in a vertical fashion. It will not carry as far, and it will impart spin on the ball, so when it lands, it will act as if it's a brake. I quite often refer to it as a brake. Lowering the loft will cause the ball to launch lower and go further. This is something you should not do on a driver, especially in the lower numbered irons, like a 3-iron. Lowering the loft makes the club almost uncontrollable. You can do it to some degree, but don't get carried away with it. Also, in the upper irons, the shorter irons, like a 8, 9 pitching wedge, sand wedge, etc., increasing or decreasing the loft, lowering the loft, makes it into another club. Because the loft angle is so, well, they're so close to each other, you might as well just change clubs. But if you feel like you just have to do it, you can do that. Also, after you make a change, you may become accustomed to using an iron in a certain fashion and make customary changes like that. Now, as far as the draw and the fade are concerned, if the wind is coming from the left, you want to turn a draw in there. If you're going to do this at all, I suggest that you leave it right in the middle. And the reason is because as a beginner, or as you begin using this game, playing the game, if the further off center that you have it, the harder it's going to be for you to control the ball. Okay, it's just especially with a driver, there's just not a whole lot of play in it. Okay, After you get accustomed to it, and after you've moved up in the ranks slightly, or quite a bit actually, you can dial more draw and more fade in. As a right-handed golfer, going into the fade area, especially if you get closer to this first red line, it becomes critical. And now listen to that, critical that you swing straight. Because if you have it dialed in for a fade and you slice the ball, that ball is going to go hard right. I mean, terribly hard right. You don't want that. The same is true for a draw, but as a right-handed golfer, typically a draw will not be as bad as a fade on a mishit. You'll hear it in the way that the club strikes the ball, because it'll become a very short sound and not anywhere near as powerful. That's because you hit it off center, and the ball will not carry as far. Now, sometimes, if you hook it, it will actually go further than than if you had hit it in a sweet spot. I'm not really sure why that's true, but hitting with the heel of the club, I guess, is what's happening, and it tends to hit it just as straight, but maybe perhaps a little harder. I don't understand why that is, but I guess because the club faces are perimeter weighted, that it could be just a harder surface. But anyway, in the game, occasionally you'll see the ball carry further if you hit it off center to the left. Okay, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to encourage that. What we want to do is keep it in the center and hit it right on that sweet spot. Now, what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to dial in just a little bit of left because I've got a 2-mile-an-hour wind. It's not a great deal, but because I've moved the draw and fade on the club, I want to know which direction it's going in because I can't see when it's centered very well. Normally I play on a 4K screen. To record, I'm playing on 1K or high definition, and I can't see that. I can't see how I've got that set it so well unless I can see just a little bit of red on the side. Okay, so I've got this set to where it should more or less carry straight, ignore the wind, and land on the fairway. If I hit it pure. If I don't, no telling what's going to happen.
Nice. Should be in the fairway.
Thank you, John. Okay, now, the pin is 13 feet above our feet, where the ball is. The ball is more or less level with us, so we don't have to aim left or right in order to compensate for the tilt of the ground here. It's going to come off more or less straight. The hole is 39 yards away, which is fairly close to my 45-yard carry, but still, the ball would end up back there in the rough, which I don't want. Okay, so I'm going to change the swing type to flop. I'm going to increase my club so that it's more or less 40 yards. Because the pin is 13 feet above us, the ball is not going to carry 40 yards before it meets with the ground. The wind is going to slightly push it to the right, but it's not really going to have a whole lot of effect with a 2-mile-an-hour wind and this short distance. So we can more or less discount the effect of the wind on the ball. The ball will probably land right about 39 yards. I don't expect it to go in the hole, but it'll land right about there. I could, if I wanted to, dial in a little extra. When I say dial in, I mean change the loft of the ball so that it is hit a little higher loft, and so that will decrease the carry of the ball. As you increase the loft, the landing point moves toward you. As you decrease the loft, lowering the loft, the landing point will go away from you to some extent. But I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it right like it is and just go straight for the hole. Isn't that great? Now we've got a short
here, nothing
putt.
too bad.
Yeah, just a short putt to get it in the hole, like John was trying to tell us there. Nothing too bad. There is a little bit of break, right to left, and it's only 5 feet, so we don't have to swing at it real hard or anything.
Nice.
And that's a birdie on a par 4.
Starting things off at 1 under.
Thank you, John.
Nice bird on that last hole. Let's see another one.
I think we will, John. Maybe not right away, but we will. Okay, normally I don't allow that. When you move into a hole, it'll give you an overfly from the tee all the way to the pin, and I don't normally allow that to occur. I'd rather just hit the Y button on my Xbox controller and get down there to have a closer look. The way that this is, the pin is on the left-hand side of the fairway, but further than we're going to be able to hit it. I want to hug that bunker down there on the left. Okay, I want to get fairly close to it, but I don't want to end up inside there. The wind is blowing from right to left at 2 miles an hour, which means I'm going to change to a slight fade, just enough to where I can see that red line there. And you don't have to do that, by the way, because a 2 mile an hour wind is not really all that severe, but I'm going to do it anyway. And that should allow us to stay just outside of that bunker on the fairway and get us as close to the pin as possible without actually ending up in danger. Now, you have to swing straight. The way that I do this, you look at your Xbox controller, hold the left-hand side with the left hand and right-hand side with the right, turn it 90 degrees clockwise, and that's how I swing a club. I'll draw with my left-hand thumb to the full swing position, and then I'll swing by drawing to the right with my right thumb. And that tends to keep it straighter than it would if I reached across the controller with both thumbs and swung back and forth. Okay? That's the reason that I do that. When I putt, however, I typically just use a single thumb. That would be my right because I am right-handed.
That thing was smashed.
Yes, it was. That is not bad at all. Okay, now, we have a 75-yard carry with a pitch. Okay, if I bring it down to the next club lower, a sand wedge, I have a 55-yard carry. That's not anywhere near enough. And if you go up, it's 80 yards. Okay, I like my chances right here with a pitching wedge, but I'm going to increase my loft by about 5 yards. That would be right in between the two red lines. Increase the yardage that much. That's about 5 yards. If you went all the way to the first red line, that would be about 10 yards. Okay? Because the wind is coming from right to left, I'm going to move it over just slightly. And we should be really close to that hole if I can keep it straight. Now, because that just brings it back to 70 yards, which is where the hole is, the ball is going to bounce or roll further. Okay? So what you want to do on something like this is just give it another yard. So I've moved it up to about 6 yards worth of higher loft. Let's see what happens.
Looking good. Nice. For the birdie here.
Close enough.
That was awesome.
There was just a little bit of break from right to left.
2 under for the round.
All right. I can handle being 2 under.
Okay, it's time to send this ball on its way.
All right, the wind can be discounted. I'll move it over just a tad bit. On most of these dogleg lefts, you want to hug the right-hand side here, unless you can carry the corner, okay? Well, we can't carry the corner, or I can't carry the corner with this club on the normal setting. I'd have to have it up to hardest in order to get it that far. So, I'm going to hug the right-hand side there. Try to keep it straight, which is why I put just a little bit of fade in there. I'm not going to mess with the loft. I think that's a mistake on a driver, except in really severe cases of wind. And I think we're going to be fine hitting it right like there. Now, I want you to notice the fairway is fairly broad. That's because we're on the easier levels. You notice how if you get on the edge here, it's lifted up so that if the ball lands here, it'll bounce back into the fairway. All right? This is an advantage that you have in the early courses when you're playing the early seasons. That goes away later. So try to keep it on the fairway because you will not always have that advantage.
That was amazing.
Well, I thank you, John. To some degree, you just saw how that actually works out there.
Okay, we're looking at around 170 yards here.
Yes, we are. And it looks like I've got it right down the fairway onto the green. Let's move in closer. We can see that it's going to move slightly from right to left as it rolls on the green. Move it over slightly to the right. And I'm going to go straight for it. It's probably going to roll past the pin, by the way, because I have not added any brake or increased the loft any at all. I hit the ball slightly to the right there. Ooh, that was close, huh? Yeah.
Nice. All right, this next one's for birdie.
As you can see, the brake is left to right, all the way across the roll here, but it's not real bad, so I've aimed for the left-hand edge of the hole. 6 feet, not a great deal. And there you go.
3 under for the round. Okay, send this ball away.
Same deal on this course. As you get down here toward the pin, the edge of the fairway is lifted slightly to help you retain the easier grass. Your ball's not going to roll as well, and an iron will grab in the rough here, especially the deep rough, which on this course, deep rough is not really all that deep. But it will cut down on the distance that you can get out of any iron. So you have to keep that in mind. And the caddy here has given me a 3-wood. I don't like that. I'm going to get close, right? Yeah, let's go for it.
I think you got all of that one.
Yes, I did. Look at that. Now, 21 yards is not all that far. In fact, it's inside of my shortest club on my shortest flop. If I were to swing at this as hard as I could with a flop, it would go well past the hole. Oh boy, we don't want that. That's flirting with the water. As I draw the club back, you can see what a full swing looks like. So we don't want to do that. This is about a 2/3 distance, which means, well, if you draw the club 2/3 of the way back, it's not going to carry 2/3 of the distance. It doesn't work that way. You have to actually draw it about 80%. But unfortunately, the way this game is written, you can't get there. So you have to keep it at about 2/3 point. That's about 1/3, 1/2. Go a little further than that. There we go. And like I said, can't get there.
This one's for birdie.
But I can putt pretty good at this distance. So we're going to keep it close.
Nice.
There you go.
And after that one, you're holding on to your lead. Well done. Okay, 5th hole coming up.
And this is a par 3. The ball is going to land on a 145-yard carry. It's going to land at about 144 yards. The wind is going to be pushing toward us a little bit, so it's going to land at about 143.5, give or take, which is flirting with rolling on into the bunker there. So what we want to do is add a little bit of loft so that it doesn't quite carry so far. And that's about 143 right there, 144, excuse me, 142, 141, give or take. I'll put just a skosh of fade on there. It's a technical term here in the South. And that should be close.
This one's a beauty. Okay, you're on the green with a fair amount of work to do still.
I did not hit that thing full power. Ooh, we've got quite a bit of left to right break. I don't like that. But not enough to really get carried away with. I'm going to try that right there. 34 feet, that's quite a bit of distance. And I did not hit that hard enough.
All right, 12-footer here.
Which is a good thing because I would have gotten carried away with this much break. Ooh.
Oh my goodness, that was so close.
Not
all right,
quite
but a 3-footer here.
Right?
And you're in the hole with a nice putt.
And a bogey. I hate bogeys.
Staying in the top spot after that hole. Well done.
But the rest of the golfing is
let's
so
give it
solid
a nice big
that
smash.
one bogey's not going to kill you. All right. Of course, you knew that. All right. I'm flirting with this bunker over here. That's for sure. But I don't think that the wind is going to play a factor into it any. I'm going to give it just a tad bit of draw on it and go for it. I hit the ball to the left.
Looking
here.
good.
That's why I went that way. I messed up. But that's all right, because I was hugging that bunker. I had left myself room to the left. Okay, this lip here is going to mess with our ball if we can't get it onto the green. And I don't really want to get on the green, but I may if it rolls in there. But here's the deal. The way that this thing is showing me the green here makes me think that I'm going to get close. Now, if the ball lands here on this lip, okay, particularly if it lands here or here, it's not going to go straight. It's going to bounce to the right, okay? Here, it might go straight, but more than likely it's going to go one way or the other, and over here it's going to go hard left and into the bunker. So, if you think that's going to happen, you might want to reconsider the club that you're using, particularly if it's going to lead into a hazard like over here. If the wind was blowing hard from right to left, and I was afraid of this bunker here, which I'm really not, I might draw it in a little bit so that I'd be using a shorter club and wouldn't be faced with that danger. But as it is, I think all we need to do is just put a skosh of left hand draw into it, and don't worry about it. Just go straight at it as hard as you can. And it rolled up on there and came to a stop. Nothing to worry about. Okay, now, if you look at this ball, it's beneath my feet. That means it's going to launch like this. It's not going to go straight. So we want to aim over here slightly. That might be a little bit too far, but I like it right there. What's going to happen here when I hit it with this club is it's going to carry 7 yards out here, and then roll. This is a fairly flat club to be chipping with, and so it's going to roll pretty good. I like my odds. Get close to the pin anyway. I don't think the hole's in any danger at this point, but we can always hope. Ooh, and it made a liar out of me, didn't it?
9-footer here. I think you can do this.
I think I can too. 9-footer's not bad.
Yes. And after that one, you're holding steady in the top spot on the leaderboard.
Anyway, you can see what I'm saying about this being for beginners here. It's a little too easy for me after all this time playing the game. But the idea here was to give you a tutorial on the beginnings of the game, and I think that's working out rather well. If you look at this, this is the same situation that I listed earlier. With a dog leg left, we're going to want to hug the right-hand side over here. Not too tight, because if you get caught into this, you're not gonna roll out as far as you would otherwise, but fairly close. The wind is going to help us slightly, and it's going to push to the left ever so slightly. It's only 1 mile an hour. But we have a danger, and I'm going to show you the danger in the overhead here. If you don't carry to 300 yards, okay, in this position here, these trees begin to play into it. So if you were to here, you wouldn't have a shot at the pin. You'd have to lay up somewhere and then go in. Okay, so you want to get as far as you can so that you have an open shot at the green. Now, playing with the normal strength club, I don't think I can get very much further than 300 yards, if I can even get to 300. It'll probably carry about 285, and I'll have to work my way around one of those trees down there. But I'm not worried about it. Let's see what happens.
Looks like you'll be in the short stuff here.
Short stuff meaning the fairway. Yeah. Okay, and I carried 276.
Okay, looks like we are about 225 yards to the pin.
But you can see I don't have a whole lot of open area here outside of these trees. If I had a heavy wind and I was trying to compensate by moving my aim point instead of using the draw, I'd have to be aiming into those trees, and that would catch me up, foul me up, I think. My wood carries 225 yards, the 5 wood here. I don't want to overdrive the pin, So I could pull it back by increasing the loft slightly. I still think it's going to roll pretty good out there. If I draw it back to a 3-iron, I'm probably not going to get to the green. I might, but that's the way I'm going to go anyway, because this is only the second stroke. This is a par 5. We've got plenty of clubs to deal with and play with, so we might as well just go ahead and go straight for it. I am going to put a slight draw on the ball, and that will keep it to the left of the pin, or if I manage to hit it just right, it'll go straight at it. It is going left. And I landed right on the fringe there, carried that far.
Whoa, yeah, you hit the green and under regulation on this one. You sink this next putt, and now we're cooking.
When John says that, that means it's possible for you to get an eagle. So even if you haven't been looking, you know when he says that it's possible for you to get an eagle. Okay. The break is left to right here. I think I need to have it about right there. I'm not real good at judging a 25-foot putt on these early greens. I'm used to faster greens. Cause you to overshoot every time, but we'll see. We'll see if I can get there. I got there.
Oh, I'm so angry. That was going to be excellent.
But I hadn't compensated quite enough.
For the bird. And let's take a look at the current standings.
Bring it on, John.
All right, and after that one, you're holding steady at the top spot on the leaderboard.
There's only 2 holes left.
All right, let's haul off and just smash this next drive.
Now, my caddy's giving me a 3-iron because he wants me to go on a dog leg right to the ankle here, and I don't want to do that. You know, maybe you call that a knee, but that's an ankle on a dog. I'm going to go right over the top of that tree. What I'm going to do. It looks like my driver is going to overdrive the fairway. So I have to go with a 3-wood, which we can do. Wind is left to right. Give it just a skosh. It's a technical term. Yeah, you know that. And we're going to hit it as hard as we can, but try to keep it straight. And look at that.
Nice. Should be in the fairway.
Right in the middle. "88 yards, which is between my 2 clubs, which means I'm going to have to give it just a mite of loft. Drop it down in there. That'd be 90, 88. Yeah, might as well go right there. And that's probably going to be too much. It's going to come up way short of the pin, but I'd rather do that than go back there into the back of the green. Let's go.
Looking good.
Close enough.
And for the bird.
Didn't hit it hard enough, man.
Little 5-footer here, nothing too scary. Nice putt, you're in the hole.
I keep forgetting how tough these greens are.
And after that one, you're holding steady.
They act like they're full, like they're a sponge they're full of water or something. They just don't. The ball didn't want to roll.
Ninth hole coming up.
Okay, here we have a miniature dog leg left. Except you definitely don't want to hit it out there to the right. You want to charge that hole because it's a par 3. Okay. The bad news is your 3-wood overdrives it. Your 5-wood will hit the trees for sure. But you got to do it, right? Got to get down there somehow. You could go to a 3-wood and hit what they call the punch, okay, which will carry 199 yards. What they don't tell you is that it's rolling pretty fast at 199 yards, and it will still overshoot the green. So you don't want to do that. I like this one right here, even though it does tend to hit the trees here. It's the reason that they're there is so that you'll hit them and you won't make the green. Makes it tough. You could actually aim way to the right and lay a huge draw on the ball and have it curve out there, but that's really hard to guesstimate. You'll never get it right. So you might as well just go straight for it. I guess I did put a little bit, yeah. The wind might be changing on us here because it seems like I made an adjustment. Now it's going the other way. But anyway, all right, I'm going to go straight for it.
This
Sure
one's looking dialed in.
Well, it would have if it hadn't hit that tree. Okay, I happen to know that if I hit this with a 9-iron and a 7-yard carry, that it's going to roll past the hole. I just know it will. So I'm going to go with a 6-yard instead. Might be a mistake because, like I said, I've lost my touch with these softer greens, but let's see what happens. Oh!
All right. Now we just got to finish up.
How did that happen?
Nice little tap in of a par to finish us off today. Well done.
Yeah, there you go.
Good job out there. 5 under at the end of your round.
Look at that. First
That
place.
means you are still in first place.
I didn't have to rage
Keep it
quit. I didn't have to complain about the textures or anything. I'm just playing golf. Isn't that wonderful? If you've liked what you've seen, had fun, give us a like, subscribe. Come back and see us next time when we go for round 2. Look at that, 5 under. Gotta love it.